Have you ever wondered if a tiny action you do every single day could be silently erasing the strength you worked a lifetime to build? What if something you barely notice is making your muscles disappear one quiet day at a time? It's a chilling thought, isn't it? Especially when we reach a certain age and suddenly changes in our body seem to sneak up on us. If you're over 60, or if you care deeply about someone who is, I want you to know this message comes from a place of genuine care. We know that, after a certain point, every choice matters more. The smallest decision can have a lasting impact on our health and on the ones we love. This is not a warning. It's an invitation to look after yourself with kindness and honesty. Today, I'm going to share something that could change how you see your own body. You'll hear new insights that come straight from real-life stories and observations, and maybe even from medical evidence. My promise is simple. What you learn here can help you protect your strength, stay independent, and feel good in your own skin for years to come. Before we dive in, let me know where you're watching from in the comments below. It's always amazing to see this caring community growing in so many different places. So, let's begin with something small, something you might do every day without even thinking. Because sometimes, your future starts with the tiniest of habits. How you get up from a chair. Have you ever stopped to notice how you get up from a chair? It seems like such a simple movement, but it can reveal a lot about your health and your future independence. If standing up from a chair has become slow, difficult, or you find yourself pushing hard with your hands or needing help, this is a sign worth paying attention to. Health professionals often look at this detail because it shows how strong your legs are, how steady your balance is, and even how confident you feel in your own body. When this movement becomes a struggle, it might be an early warning that your muscles are losing strength, long before you notice bigger problems. This sign is closely linked to your ability to prevent falls, stay independent, and enjoy a good quality of life. Let's think about two people, Maria, who is 73, and Joao, who is 78. Maria noticed that getting up from her favorite armchair felt a little harder than it used to. Instead of ignoring it, she started practicing every day, standing up and sitting down a few extra times while holding onto the armrest for support. Now, she can get up with ease and still enjoys her morning walks in the park. Joao, on the other hand, brushed off that same feeling. He kept avoiding low chairs and stopped going places where he'd have to stand up often. Over time, he began to worry about falling and started feeling trapped at home, missing out on family gatherings and walks with friends. Ignoring how you get up from a chair may seem harmless, but little by little, it can take away your freedom to move around, bring on tiredness, and make everyday tasks much harder. The good news is, practicing this movement for just a few minutes each day, using the support of a sturdy chair or armrest, can make a big difference. Slow, steady practice is more powerful than you think. And if the way you stand up says so much, just imagine what the next everyday sign could reveal about your well-being. The steadiness of their hands when holding objects. Have you ever noticed how someone's hands behave when they pick up a glass of water, button a shirt, or try to write a note? The steadiness of our hands, especially as we age, is more than just a detail. It's a clear signal of how well our nerves, muscles, and coordination are working together. Healthcare professionals often pay attention to the way a person grips or lifts everyday items, sometimes even before running any tests, because shaky or weak hands can be an early whisper of underlying frailty. Imagine your hands as the roots of a tree. If the roots lose their grip, the whole tree becomes unstable. Let's look at two friends, Lucas and Pedro, both in their early 60s. Lucas takes a moment every morning to do simple hand exercises, like squeezing a softball and carefully stacking coins. He feels proud every time he opens a tight jar or pours his own coffee without spilling a drop. Pedro, on the other hand, tries to ignore the stiffness and trembling that creep into his fingers. At breakfast, he struggles to butter his toast, feeling a wave of frustration and sometimes even embarrassment when crumbs scatter everywhere. It's not just about spilled coffee or torn envelopes. It's about holding on to confidence and everyday independence. If the early warning signs in our hands are brushed aside, the risks can quietly grow. Everyday tasks become exhausting, and the fear of dropping things can lead to hesitation, withdrawal, or even accidents at home. A decline in hand steadiness often comes before any diagnosis, hinting at weakened strength or the first shadows of neurological change. Small difficulties today can become major barriers tomorrow if ignored. But the good news is, there are easy ways to keep hands strong and steady. Try squeezing a soft rubber ball for a few minutes each day, or practice picking up coins or small objects from the table. These simple habits, done regularly, can make all the difference in endurance and accuracy. If you're finding these tips helpful, don't wait. Subscribe to the channel right now. Here, every video is designed to help you live more safely, independently, and healthily. And while your hands may be strong, have you ever wondered what your body is really telling you when you get up in the morning? The next sign might just surprise you. How you handle frustration in everyday life. Have you ever noticed how you respond when something doesn't go your way? Whether it's the TV remote not working or a friend canceling plans at the last minute, your reaction to frustration is more important than it seems. As we age, our ability to cope with small setbacks often changes, and these changes can be an early sign that our resilience, both emotional and physical, is being tested. When we start snapping more easily, feeling overwhelmed by minor problems, or even withdrawing from situations to avoid stress, it's not just about mood. It's a quiet warning that our mind and body are becoming less flexible, making us more vulnerable to health issues and isolation. Take the example of Irene, who is 72. She notices when she starts to lose patience more quickly, and she's found ways to pause, breathe, and reconnect with what really matters. If she feels irritated, she calls a friend, takes a short walk, or simply laughs at herself. This helps her stay open to new experiences and keeps her relationships warm. On the other hand, Walter, at 77, often ignores his irritability. He shouts at his phone when it freezes, avoids gatherings where things might not go smoothly, and spends more and more time alone. Over time, Walter feels not only lonelier, but also more tired and less motivated, as if every day is a bit harder than the last. Ignoring growing frustration can chip away at your connections and confidence. It can lead to chronic stress, sleepless nights, and a sense of being trapped by your own reactions. But there are simple steps you can take. Try to notice when you're starting to feel tense, and give yourself permission to step back for a moment. Even a few slow breaths or a quick chat with someone you trust can make a big difference. Small adjustments help you regain a sense of control and keep frustration from taking over your days. And sometimes, what we ignore most isn't what's loud and obvious. It's how we quietly respond to life's everyday tests. The secret weight of unquiet nights. Sometimes, the most powerful signs of change are the ones no one else sees. Have you noticed the silent heaviness that lingers when you wake up tired, even after hours in bed? Or the restless thoughts that swirl quietly as the world sleeps? This invisible exhaustion, the quality of your rest, is one of the most underestimated factors behind how quickly or slowly you age. It's like a battery that never fully recharges, silently draining your strength day after day, even if you look fine on the outside. Think of Maria, age 72. She gently closes her book every night, lets herself unwind, and keeps a simple routine before bed. Most mornings, she greets the sun with a calm mind and light spirit. Her energy feels steady, her mood is soft, and she finds joy in little things. In contrast, Paolo, 78, falls asleep to the television, his mind still racing with yesterday's worries and tomorrow's list. He often wakes up groggy, his body tense, his patience thin. Simple tasks feel heavier, and conversations become confusing or distant. While Maria feels at home in her own skin, Paolo moves through the day as if he's always one step behind, never truly rested. Ignoring the quality of your rest is never just about feeling sleepy. Over time, it weakens your immune system, clouds your memory, and brings a constant undercurrent of irritability or sadness. The body starts to age faster, quietly pleading for relief. The good news is that this cycle can change. if you listen to what your nights are telling you. If you want to discover gentle ways to sleep deeper and renew your energy, we prepared a free ebook filled with practical, comforting tips. You'll find a link in the pinned comments. Take this small step to care for yourself with kindness and intention. Sometimes, the answers are found in the silence of the night. But what happens when another part of your routine quietly asks for attention? The taste of your days, have you noticed how your relationship with food has changed lately? Maybe you feel less hungry than before, or meals have lost their flavor and joy. These small shifts in appetite and eating habits say more about your health than you might imagine. As we age, our bodies send messages through hunger and satisfaction. When you skip meals, eat less without realizing, or no longer look forward to your favorite dishes, your body is asking for attention. A sudden loss of appetite, or eating just for the sake of it, often signals more than just aging. It reveals hidden imbalances. Without enough nutrients, muscles weaken, energy drops, and even your mood can fade. Eating well isn't only about what's on the plate. It's about keeping your body strong and your mind clear. Imagine Anna. She makes time to eat 3 balanced meals every day. Her plate is colorful with fruits, vegetables, and different proteins. She sits at the table, enjoys each bite, and treats mealtime as a moment of pleasure. Anna feels energetic, walks with confidence, and faces the day with a smile. Now think about Carlos. Lately, he forgets to eat or grabs just a piece of bread. Food no longer excites him, and sometimes he finds himself skipping dinner altogether. His energy is low, and he feels weak, sometimes dizzy or sad for no clear reason. The pleasure in eating is gone, and so is some of his strength. When nutrition is neglected, the body starts to slow down. Muscles shrink, immunity drops, and the risk of falls or confusion increases. Memory and mood suffer, and day-to-day life becomes heavier. Ignoring these signs is like letting your body turn off, little by little. To turn things around, you don't need to make drastic changes. Create a routine for meals, even if they're simple. Choose fresh, colorful foods, and try to eat at the same times every day. Drinking water helps too. Eating well is an act of care, a gentle way to tell yourself you matter. And while nourishing the body is vital, sometimes the greatest weight is something you can't see or taste. The empty chair at the table is a kind of silence that goes beyond words. It's the quiet that fills a room when conversation disappears, when laughter fades, and the days stretch on without a single voice to break the stillness. This is the loneliness that settles in when connections are lost, when isolation becomes routine. And it's one of the most hidden, yet powerful signs that your health and vitality may be slipping away. The heart and body both need connection. When we go days without meaningful interaction, our minds grow quieter, our spirits dim. Studies show that loneliness isn't just a feeling. It's a physical stressor. It can trigger inflammation, weaken the immune system, and even accelerate memory decline. The body feels when affection is missing, when the days become too quiet, and the absence of touch or shared moments can slowly drain your energy and hope. Imagine Rosa, who calls her sister every morning, shares coffee with a neighbor, and joins a weekly card game with friends. Her days are filled with laughter and small acts of kindness. Just down the street, Luis sits alone. He eats his meals in silence, watches TV for company, and goes days without hearing his name spoken. Little by little, his energy fades. He forgets things more often, loses interest in old hobbies, and his sleep becomes restless. When the emptiness of isolation is ignored, the consequences build quietly. Motivation slips away. Mood darkens. The memories that once brought comfort become distant and hazy. Even the body begins to weaken, as if giving up in the absence of connection. This happens to many people, but it can be reversed. A simple message to a friend, a short conversation with a neighbor, or joining a group, online or in person, can break the silence. Sometimes a 5-minute call is enough to bring warmth back into the heart and light back into the eyes. But what happens when the silence outside meets a body that starts to stumble? When not just the heart, but your steps themselves begin to feel less steady. Subtle signs of instability, a stumble here, another there. But what if it's not just a distraction? Have you noticed that standing up from your chair feels less steady, or that the first step onto the stairs makes you pause for balance? Sometimes it's a small sway in the hallway, a slight slip in the bathroom, or a moment of hesitation before walking on an uneven sidewalk. These subtle signs of instability are easy to ignore. Many people chalk them up to clumsiness or simply getting older. But the truth is your body is sending out early warnings. A minor loss of balance can be the first sign that muscles and reflexes aren't responding as they used to. If left unnoticed, these tiny wobbles can lead to serious falls, fractures, and a sudden loss of independence. Take Clara, for instance. She started feeling a bit unsteady each morning as she got out of bed. Instead of brushing it off, she mentioned it to her doctor and began practicing a few minutes of balance exercises every day. Over time, her confidence grew. Walking outside became safe and enjoyable again. On the other hand, there's Joao. He laughed off his frequent stumbles, telling friends it was nothing. But one evening, a simple slip in the kitchen led to a fractured hip and months of recovery. The embarrassment and fear of falling again made him reluctant to leave home, shrinking his world. Ignoring these early signs can have lasting consequences. Falls that end in hospital visits, loss of autonomy, and the creeping fear of moving through your own space. But the solution can be simple and empowering. Try practicing walking in a straight line for a few minutes each day, or standing on one foot while holding onto a sturdy chair. Training your balance for 5 minutes a day can prevent months of recovery and preserve your freedom. And if your body is already whispering about its fragile spots, what else might your heart be quietly holding? Sometimes, the next risk isn't in your step. It lives somewhere even deeper, waiting to be noticed. The feelings you never allowed yourself to release, there are burdens we carry that no one sees. Memories tucked away in the back of the mind. Words never spoken, wounds that time alone could not heal. Sometimes, what still weighs on your heart is not a single event, but the slow accumulation of regrets, silent hurts, and emotions kept safely out of sight. This hidden emotional baggage quietly shapes the way the body moves, how deeply you breathe, and the energy you bring to each day. What is not released by the heart, the body is forced to hold. And muscles, bones, even the immune system, all become silent witnesses to what has not been expressed. But this is not about blame. It is about the gentle possibility of release. The body ages faster when the soul carries what should have already left. Consider Elena, who has spent years bottling up disappointments, old resentments, and the ache of unfinished conversations. She rarely sleeps through the night, feels tension in her shoulders, and often struggles to find joy in simple things. Her energy feels heavy, as if each day she must drag invisible weights behind her. In contrast, Gabriel, after many years of silence, chooses to write letters he never sends, to pray in the quiet of dawn, and to share his truth with a trusted friend. Slowly, his sleep improves, laughter finds its way back, and the heaviness in his chest begins to dissolve. The difference is felt not only in their spirits, but in their bodies. One grows weary, the other lighter. When we ignore the silent pain within, the heart locks itself away, and the body forgets how to breathe freely. This can lead to premature aging of the spirit, loss of vital energy, and even illness that seems to have no clear cause. Isolation grows, not just from others, but from the self. To begin releasing, you might write down your feelings without judgment, or simply allow yourself a moment of quiet forgiveness. You could talk to someone you trust, or spend time in silent reflection. Letting go is not a gift for others. It is a gentle kindness you offer to your own heart. Forgiveness does not change the past. It simply allows the present to be less painful. And as the heart learns to let go, the body, too, discovers a new lightness. But perhaps the deepest question remains: what is the meaning your life still wishes to express, both for yourself and for those who walk beside you? Today, you had the chance to look inside, with your eyes and with your heart. Throughout this journey, We explored how subtle signs in your body, your energy, your emotions, and your daily life are not diagnoses, but invitations. Invitations to pay attention, to be gentle with yourself, and to recognize that every detail, from a restless night to a moment of silence, can reveal a path to greater longevity, autonomy, and joy. What you notice, you can care for. What you care for, you could transform. This is the moment to ask yourself, how are you moving? How do you feel when you wake up? What have your relationships and your heart been telling you? Change does not demand that you turn your life upside down overnight. It begins with a single, conscious gesture, a mindful step, a healthier meal, a genuine conversation, or simply allowing yourself to pause and listen to what you need. The possibility of a fuller, more vibrant life is real, and it starts now, with what you choose to notice and nurture today. Thank you for being here, for giving your attention and care to your own story, or to the story of someone you love. That choice is a sign of courage and wisdom. It deserves to be honored. I'm grateful for your company on this journey, and I deeply respect your commitment to living better with dignity and meaning. If this content touched you, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Each new video is created to help you remember you are worth caring for. Here, you will always find support, inspiration, and practical guidance to keep learning and living with consciousness. Remember, it's not the years that take away your strength. It's ignoring the signs your body and soul send you. Listen closely, respond with care, and know that it's never too late to choose a healthier, more hopeful path. Your future is shaped by what you do today. Make it count.